What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. I got a little bit of extra for you. It is July 19th, 2022. I am JD from New York, as always, coming to you from the OTS venue. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Tuesday afternoons, wherever you may be. It is a cool and crisp 91 degrees here on the East Coast. I hope you guys are keeping warm. And I'm certainly going to warm up your news and rumors on this Tuesday, man. We got a lot to talk about, including those within WWE that have booked the SummerSlam card right now are not happy with it. Oh, really? Oh, really? Here's a clue, Bruce. I'm not happy with it either, and neither are there smart people out there who watch your weekly garbage. Give me a break. The SummerSlam card sucks. Why aren't they happy about it? We'll report what WrestleVotes is talking about right here on OTS. Also, Kenny Omega, his return is imminent. And apparently there's a major feud being planned for Kenny Omega's return. What is it? We'll talk about it right here on OTS. And why is Jeff Jarrett able to wrestle Andrade, who is an AEW star? Jeff Jarrett, who is a producer backstage within World Wrestling Entertainment. Why is he allowed to wrestle during Ric Flair's final match? I got all that news right here on Off the Script. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. Everything you need is linked down below in the description of this very video. Make sure you guys go and check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel, including last night's really great stream from Monday Night Raw. What was a terrible show last night. We tried to make the best of it. We had a good time last night on Off the Script. Go check that out. And as well as episode 436 of the podcast on Sunday night. So all of that stuff is on the homepage right now if you missed any of the content on the channel. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Hit that join button because we're going members-only chat on Sunday during episode 437. So if you guys want to get in on all the fun and be a part of the VIP section, make sure you guys hit that join button for episode 437. Member-only VIP chat coming this Sunday. And make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. 1,000 likes minimum on Off the Script this afternoon. WrestleVotes. They took to Twitter today, and you guys see the tweet on screen right now. There's less than 2 weeks to go before SummerSlam, and it seems like there's a possibility that we could see some changes to the card. WrestleVotes is reporting that the people who put this year's SummerSlam lineup together, Bruce, Vince, I told you, man, it sucks. Nobody wants to listen to me. The people that put this year's SummerSlam lineup together don't like the SummerSlam card. Oh, really? Oh, really? Here's the thing, Bruce. Neither do I. Neither do I. It's not unusual to see changes made to the pay-per-view lineups, especially with Vince McMahon, who rips up scripts hours before the show. But it doesn't often happen so close to an actual pay-per-view. 8 matches have been announced for the show. At this point, we don't know what or if changes are being planned, but this is what the card looks like right now. Undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns defends against Brock Lesnar. Rematch. This is a rematch from WrestleMania 38, which, by the way, was one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. It doesn't matter if they were hurt or not. It still was trending towards worst of all time. One of the worst of all time. And this is a rematch 7 other times before it. Who's interested in this shit? They only called Lesnar because Cody went down with injury and they worried. They threw up the Lesnar bat signal, and here comes Lesnar flying on his private jet down from Saskatchewan. Lame. Nobody gives a shit about this match after the unification of the titles at WrestleMania. Now you're trying to sell me on yet another match after that should have been the last match, and you're claiming this is the last match, which I know it's not, as a last man standing match. Bullshit. WWE fans see right through your shit, Bruce. United States Championship. Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory, with Lashley defending the United States title against Theory. Rematch. Rematch from Money in the Bank. And the entire build is built off oily pecs. That's the reason for this feud. Rematch. Nobody cares. The undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. Usos defend against the Street Profits. Rematch from Money in the Bank as well. And 4 other times before it. Now, granted, the match at Money in the Bank was fantastic, and this should be a great match, but it's a rematch. And everybody with a fucking brain knows WWE has 0 tag team division. What happens next? Who does the Street Profits or who does the Usos feud with next? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. WWE is in shambles. SmackDown Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan defends against Ronda Rousey. Nobody cares. Does anybody expect Liv Morgan to hold this championship past the summer? I know I don't. I know I don't. It doesn't even look like a match that I'd be interested in on paper, man. Liv Morgan isn't going to match up to Ronda Rousey. Holy shit. Ronda sucks. But Ronda is much more legit than Liv Morgan. This is not a believable match for the fans out there interested in Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. Bianca Belair defends the Raw Women's Championship against Becky Lynch. Rematch from WrestleMania. And then before that, how many fucking times? And dating back to last year's SummerSlam, you'll have the fucking unintelligent geeks out there. Oh, it's long-term booking. No, it ain't. It's 0 women in the division booking. It's so great of WWE to introduce a brand new, fresh, revitalizing new star, right? Man, Becky Lynch. Holy shit, man. I've never seen her before. Is she new? WWE's going with their tried and true. WWE, at the end of the day, is booking this card the same exact way they booked WrestleMania. It's basically a WrestleMania rerun. It's exactly what it is. It's a WrestleMania rerun because they're so fucking lazy to put anything new together. Where's Gunther? Where's Ricochet? Where's Madcap Moss? Where's AJ Styles? Where's Ali? All this talent not on the show, especially Gunther. No Intercontinental title match for Gunther on this show, huh? You put the title on somebody as legit as him, and you don't give him a fucking match. That's a fucking crime. That's absolutely inexcusable, Bruce. Then you got Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. The only thing on this fucking show I'm remotely interested in because, let's be honest, they're the 2 best things going in WWE right now. It's not difficult to do that because everything else sucks, but they are great. Then you got Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. This is basically the same thing that they did with Pat McAfee and Austin Theory at WrestleMania. Just include Happy Corbin and subtract Austin Theory. It's basically the same thing. Pat McAfee's only there because they're fucking desperate and clueless. They don't got a fucking clue on how to book anybody else, and they're desperate to fill seats at Nissan Stadium, so they're asking Pat McAfee to go above and beyond to help them. Now, matches that are not announced, I'm assuming this Friday we'll get Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, and the winner of that match, because they've already planned for it to happen on SmackDown, and we haven't gotten it because Drew McIntyre's going to go through Butch and Ridge Holland, and more than likely Butch and Ridge Holland in a handicap match on Friday, and then he'll get Sheamus at SummerSlam on Saturday. So I'm assuming that will be announced. Also, we got Rey Mysterio feuding with the Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio being courted by the Judgment Day. Supposedly Edge is supposed to be back on Monday at Madison Square Garden. We make it a tag team match with Edge and Rey Mysterio teaming up to take out and vanquish Judgment Day. Edge can come back and bury Judgment Day once and for all if Bruce didn't get to them already. Edge and Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I'm assuming that's going to be added, possibly. I don't know why you would do Edge versus Balor, leader versus former leader, and then leave Damian Priest and Rey Mysterio off the show when they've been an integral part of this lame story that they're telling. So I'm assuming we'll get a tag team match because the vignettes of Edge have showcased him going back to his past and showing visions of his past and items of his past to get him through the future. So I'm assuming one of those things will be teaming with Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam. The other thing that was just announced on Monday is Logan Paul versus Miz, so they'll probably add that to or they have already added that to the show. They've already made it confirmed or official on Monday Night Raw. So that's going to be added to the show as well. So WWE has these matches yet to be announced. I'm assuming we'll get that in the next week and a half. Where's AJ Styles? AJ Styles could be added to the Logan Paul and Miz match. He's been feuding with the Miz as of late for the last couple of weeks. I don't know why. But you could add AJ Styles teaming with Logan Paul. And then you can have Miz team with Ciampa. Get AJ on the show. Get Ciampa on the show instead of keeping AJ off the show and keeping Ciampa as a fucking grade A lackey for the Miz. Maybe they could do something like that and get both of those guys on the show. I don't know if that's... Maybe it would make the match better. It would actually make the match better. It would actually help Logan Paul, whatever WWE is planning on for Logan Paul, to get him over as a babyface by teaming with AJ Styles. So it would include both of those guys. It would actually get both of them on the show and actually make the match a little bit better. Dolph Ziggler, you could probably add him to the United States Championship match if he's feuding with Theory as of late. Nobody knows why he's, I guess, taunting Theory or upset with Theory and interfering in his matches. You could put him in there and have him make it a triple threat match. All these changes and these extra matches that you may add to the show doesn't necessarily make it a better show. Primarily, SummerSlam this year is WrestleMania Night 3. Nobody is excited about it. How can you be excited for rematch after rematch after rematch and everything that you've already seen at WrestleMania 38 this year on Night 1 or Night 2? Their level of effort into building their pay-per-views is pathetic. Their mentality is people are going to watch anyway, so let's just give them what we've been giving them, and everybody's going to be excited for it because it's SummerSlam. No. You need to do better. This shit sucks. There's nothing remotely exciting about this at all. Every feud in WWE right now is fucking dry as shit. It is awful. The only thing I'm remotely interested in is Riddle versus Seth Rollins. That's it. Riddle and Rollins, and that's it. The Usos and the Street Profits, just because I know the match is going to be great, and that is it. Everything else is just They got to do better, man. Their mentality of booking variations of matches with rematches and DQs and countouts, their builds are terrible. But this is what you get when you get $4.99 fucking Peacock subscriptions. That's what you get. When WWE is giving you this pay-per-view, SummerSlam of all pay-per-views, for $4.99 for a subscription to Peacock, then they're going to skimp on literally everything. They're not going to do anything and go the extra mile. Their entire business model and their mentality is fucked. It really is. This show sucks. Kenny Omega. He's nearing a return to AEW TV. A big match is tentatively planned. This is excellent news. Kenny Omega is sorely missed on AEW television. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer recently reported that the Young Bucks vs. FTR Part 3 was being held off because a major angle is being planned that is yet to come to fruition. It is in the works. That's why FTR and the Bucks has been pushed back. Fightful Select reported today that the rumor going around is the angle involves Kenny Omega. The tentative plan that certain staff was made aware of was that Omega and the Young Bucks were slated for a 6-tag program for September's All Out pay-per-view. It's unclear who they will be facing at the show. That has yet to be confirmed, and plans can always change as there have been several changes in AEW over the last few months due to the massive amount of injuries. Omega has not been on television since losing the AEW Championship last November at Full Gear to Adam Hangman Page. He decided to take time off to heal from various injuries that in some instances required him to go get surgery. So Kenny Omega went out at the right time because they had Punk, they had Cole, they had Danielson, and they had every MJF. They had Cody still at the time. They had so many top names at the top of the card. Omega could step away and be missed, but his surgery and him taking time off was not going to be a huge, devastating blow to the roster like it would be if he walked away and got surgery if he was employed to WWE. If somebody like Kenny Omega on that roster was out for a year due to injury, it would be devastating. Just like Roman Reigns, if he went down with injury, God forbid, they would be finished. They would be finished. Look at what happened when Cody Rhodes went down with injury. Look at what happened when Randy Orton went down with injury at the same time. It's something that they cannot battle back from. They could if they actually put some effort into it, but they refuse to. This is not going to be a problem with AEW and the roster that Tony Khan has built. So Kenny Omega going away, yes, it sucks, and he's a major name. He's a top main event guy, but him going away on this AEW roster was not a major blow as everybody expected it to be with the amount of top-tier talent that Tony Khan has employed. Omega has previously stated that he had hoped to return to AEW for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view in June, but he didn't want to risk coming back too soon. Good. I'm glad he did. Show didn't need him. It was probably the best wrestling show all year. A few months ago, he briefly returned to the road behind the scenes, but felt it was slowing his recovery process. Now, this is the first I'm hearing of this, and it makes sense now why the Bucks and the tag team title situation happened on Wednesday night, and them dropping the titles to Swerve in Our Glory. Keith Lee and Isaiah Swerve Scott, or Swerve Strickland, won the tag team championships. Apparently, according to the reports, that was always planned for them to win the championship. And them teasing a breakup was done by design so that when they won the championship, it would be a shock to everybody, and it actually worked because it fucking worked on me. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and I was shocked when I saw them win the tag team championship. So whatever Tony Khan was working on and had planned with Swerve and Keith Lee, it actually worked, so good for him. But Kenny Omega coming back, tentatively, the plan is for a six-man tag at All Out. I don't know who that could be against. The likely choice and the likely opponents for Omega, and I'm assuming the Young Bucks, would be Adam Cole and Red Dragon. Now, I don't know if that's happening. Omega is slated to be back, but if you guys read the report earlier in the week, or over the weekend rather, Matt Jackson got injured. Matt Jackson suffered a stinger in the tag team match when he took a vertical suplex spot, one of the most fundamental spots in pro wrestling. A vertical suplex by Will Hobbs and Keith Lee landed awkwardly and suffered a stinger. So now he's out, and it's going to be a little bit before he gets back in the ring and gets cleared. Then we got the other injuries to Adam Cole. He's got a torn labrum. Then you got Kyle O'Reilly out with injury. Nobody knows what the fuck's wrong with him. He's been out for a little bit. Bobby Fish just got back to AEW. I believe he just got cleared. So the logical program would be, because they were selling it before Omega went out, right before he went out, Adam Cole and Kenny Omega had a little Easter egg, a little seed planted that it could be some internal war between the Undisputed Elite, the ex-Undisputed Era guys, and the Elite. That looked like it was going in the direction of them feuding. But now, with all the injuries, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But if Matt Jackson can get back, and it's not as severe, this stinger is not as severe, what if we do? Because I know Omega's been feuding with Will Ospreay. I know Omega's been feuding, war of words on Twitter with Will Ospreay. What if we get Omega and the Young Bucks versus the United Empire? We get Jeff Cobb, Great O'Khan, and Will Ospreay. Or you want to do Will Ospreay, Jeff Cobb, and TJP. United Empire versus the Undisputed Elite, or the Elites in this case, with Omega and the Young Bucks. That is if Matt Jackson is able to come back. Other than that, I don't know who else would be up for a six-man tag team match. Either that, because it makes sense with what Omega and Ospreay are doing on social media. What if we get the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club? What if we get Bryan Danielson? What if we get Wheeler Yuta and Claudio versus the Elite? That could be something we could pick up right where we left off with Omega and Bryan Danielson. So either one of those two options really sits well with me. It's got to be major names. Omega's not coming back for a rinky-dink fucking feud just to get him on the all-out card. It's going to be something substantial. So let me know what you guys think it's going to be. I'm just glad that he's back. And I do believe with Omega coming back, the show is going to have an overall more important feel. Everybody's going to be excited. There's going to be a level of excitement for the show. And I do believe that the ratings will increase with Omega being back. I don't think people really understand how big of a fucking involvement and a big of a presence Kenny Omega really is. Everybody wants to undersell him. Everybody wants to make fun of him about his past and claim that he's not as good as he is and he's not really a top-tier guy, and they want to compare him to this guy and that guy. They want to compare him to Roman Reigns. Kenny Omega is an MVP for this company. Everything that this man does has a sense of importance. And that's what he's bringing back to AEW, and it's something that's been sorely missed. So I can't wait for him to be back, and I think whatever they got planned, Tony Khan has got something major planned for Kenny Omega. And finally, guys, Jeff Jarrett. Why is Jeff Jarrett able to work Ric Flair's last match with Andrade El Idolo? It has now been confirmed that it's Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal teaming up together against Ric Flair and Andrade El Idolo. Andrade and Jay Lethal are both AEW stars. Lethal more so on the Ring of Honor side. Andrade on AEW. Jarrett notably became the WWE Senior Vice President of Live Events in late May. Per Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio, Jarrett can wrestle the bout because he doesn't have a talent contract with WWE. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So everybody was asking, why is Jarrett, a WWE superstar or a WWE talent, able to work with AEW talent on this show? Noting that everything has been worked out, Meltzer said this. Obviously, Tony Khan okayed his guys working with the WWE guy. And with Jeff, the thing is, Jeff is Jeff. He doesn't have a talent contract, so legally, even though he's actually a vice president of the company, he can wrestle this match. I know a lot of people think that because Conrad Thompson in the past had booked WWE guys, including Rick, to do major things at his conventions, and then WWE pulled them, that is going to happen here. But it's not going to happen here. And this all had been worked out. Impact, MLW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Lucha Libre, AAA will all be presenting matches of their own at this event on July 31. I may actually order this thing on pay-per-view. I think it's looking really good, and I think it's going to be a very newsworthy show. I may even go live after it's over. I'll let you guys know. Ric Flair and Andrade teaming up against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett in the main event. Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu. I may just buy the fucking show for that match. For the Impact World Championship. Jordan Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo versus Rachel Ellering for the Impact Knockouts Championship. The Wolves, Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards versus the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. This show is looking better than fucking SummerSlam. Killer Cross versus Davey Boy Smith Jr. Clark Connors, who impressed the fuck out of me at New Japan AEW Forbidden Door, versus Ren Narita. Ray Phoenix versus Laredo Kid versus Taurus versus Bandito. Bro, this is better than fucking SummerSlam. The Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross versus the Briscoes. Ricky and Kerry Morton versus Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson. And that's the lineup so far. And Conrad said there's more coming. Andrade El Idolo and Jay Lethal currently have AEW 2022 win-loss record percentages of 58% and 83% respectively. So that is what's going on right now. I don't know how their win-loss record is going to be taken into account here, but the show's looking pretty impressive. The show's looking pretty impressive. So for everybody wondering why Jeff Jarrett, listen, man, I poke fun at Jeff Jarrett being the special guest referee. Now we kind of know why he's going to be in this thing, and he's going to be working SummerSlam as the special guest referee. I thought WWE could have been a little bit more creative with the special guest referee situation with the Usos and Street Profits and tied into ongoing storylines right now on SmackDown. But Jeff Jarrett looks to be in incredible shape. He really does. He looks to be in incredible shape, and it should be a decent match. I'm very curious to see how Ric Flair works amongst all of this. And to see Andrade and Jay Lethal in that ring, man, it should be fucking great. It really should. Listen, man, I was hearing Rock and Roll Express. I was hearing what's his name? Ricky Steamboat for this thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a fucking train wreck. So they really amped it up, man. They really got something solid going on here to a point where I'm thinking about spending some fucking money on this SummerSlam weekend. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments to all these top stories today on OTS, man. So that is the news for your Tuesday afternoon. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and now Cameo. Thank you for all the love and support on Cameo. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. Links are down below. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up, turn on that bell, hit the join button. Going to become very important moving forward for the channel. You guys are going to want to be a part of everything, man. We got member-only chats coming up. We got live streams for VIPs only coming right before SummerSlam. I'll let you guys know on social media. So hit that join button. And again, please hit that thumbs up. 1,000 likes minimum on today's OTS Extra. Guys, I'll see you back for Wednesday night Dynamite, and I'll be live with Jesse talking about the barbed wire death match, Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho tomorrow night on Dynamite. Enjoy your Tuesdays, and I'll see you live tomorrow on OTS.